Earlier today, I released a video titled How to Stop the Media from Inspiring Killers. The video was essentially a thought exercise where I suggested, not really, but suggested that we should place limitations, or the government should place limitations on the media and the way that they report mass shootings, because I feel that they inspire other mass shooters. At the end of the video, I then came back on the screen and talked about how I personally don't believe that the government should have any hand in limiting the press of the media, the same way that they shouldn't have any hand in limiting our Second Amendment rights. Because I believe the Constitution is fluid in the sense that we should be steadfast on our protection of the Constitution all the way through. That being said, what ended up happening as a result of that video being released is our media doing exactly what I said they've been doing for the last couple of years now. They jumped on it and began critiquing it because agenda. And what they did was take the first part of the video and reported only on the first part of the video, which demonstrated clearly that they didn't watch the video in full. Think about that for a second. This is the same media that is responsible for disseminating information to us. This is the same type of information that we base our opinions on, that we make decisions on, very important decisions. And they can't be bothered to watch a 4-minute video before writing an entire article about it. That should scare everyone watching this video right now. All it took was for them to watch the entire video. That's it. I read an article twice before I even report on it on Instagram. They're writing entire articles on major publications on a 4-minute video that they probably only watch a minute and a half of. That's unacceptable. And this is what our media landscape looks like now. Everyone should have a problem with that. The same way everyone should have a problem if anybody actually suggested that the media should be limited by the government. That's how we feel as Second Amendment supporters when people talk about limiting our Second Amendment rights. When what this video has exposed was essentially, when it comes to the First Amendment rights, because it directly correlates to them, the media swarms. They defend the First Amendment even more fiercely than we defend the Second Amendment. But when it comes to the Second Amendment, to them it's expendable. Put all the limitations you want on the Second Amendment, the media says. We don't care. We just need common sense limitations. I merely suggested that the government come in and place limitations on the way the media covers mass shootings. And I wasn't even being for real. I was joking. And they lost it. That should tell you everything you need to know about the agenda our media is pushing. And it's scary. It is truly and honestly terrifying. Because if we can't depend on our major medias to give us the information that we need to make the decisions that we need to make throughout life, who can we depend on? Flat out. And it also proves we can't get both sides of a story. Because if you're not reading the complete story, how can you give me both sides of it? You can't. And this is the same thing that I've been talking about on my platform for years now. And you're watching it play out right in front of you. We're even talking about certain news stations that pride themselves on giving you honest news. And they can't watch a 4-minute video. 4 minutes, they get paid to do this. It's their job to be journalists. There are some journalists that will jump on a plane and travel for hours just to get a story. They can't watch a 4-minute video? That's insane. Like, look at this. Like, they literally swarmed. I'll read a couple of tweets that were tweeted out in response to the video, some of them which were deleted once we provided the fact that, hey, the entire video was attached to the tweet that you refused to watch. Let's see, we have one here from David Roberts. NRA has found a response to school shootings. Use the power of the state to suppress the media's ability to report on them. Watch the whole video, dude. It's attached. It autoplays. It literally autoplays in Twitter, and you can't even watch that? The biggest culprit is Vice News. And the reason why Vice News is the biggest culprit is because they wrote that title of the article that they wrote as if they only watch half of the video, insinuating that I actually legitimately suggested that the government step in and limit the First Amendment rights of the media. NRA wants Congress to set limitations on how the news can cover school shootings. You can't be more dishonest. You watched the entire video and you still went with the misleading headline. That's a problem, man. And this is the state of our journalism in America today. That is a problem. At the end of the article, it quotes me directly saying the complete opposite. And they still put that title at the top of the article. That should tell you everything you need to know about the journalistic integrity of Vice News, or at least the author responsible for writing it. But then again, I'm pretty sure there were editors that had to approve it, and they went ahead and they approved this. So that begs the question. James Ball, organization that misrepresents and fetishizes the Second Amendment, calls on Congress to openly defy the First. Again, you can hear the tone in his statement. He's not a Second Amendment supporter. He's not. But the moment he thought that he had an opportunity to call us on our hypocrisy, he jumped all over it with respect to the First Amendment, but wouldn't do the same when it comes to the Second Amendment. Oh, this next tweet is just wonderful. From Brian Stelter, yes, the host of Reliable Sources on CNN. The moment the video comes out, he clearly didn't watch the entire video. He states, new idea from the NRA, pass a law stopping the media from reporting killer's name or showing his face. You've got to be kidding me. Now, if I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna be fair, he did later on delete that tweet after we called him on it and then posted another tweet basically explaining what I actually said in the video. So I'll give him props for that, but that should also demonstrate even with a show that's designed and revolves around the idea of giving you the complete story objectively, they will even jump before actually reading an entire article or watching an entire video. That is scary, man. That is where we are now. They'd rather jump and push an agenda before they even find out exactly what it is the person is saying in the video. That's a problem. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment or religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. He said that in response to my video. But yet, when I get up there and I say, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, they scoff and they laugh at me. But then he quotes me the text of the First Amendment verbatim. Again, proving my point. When it comes to the First Amendment, they're all, no one touches it. No one can do anything. But when it comes to the Second Amendment, it's like, do what you want. We don't care. There's gotta be some consistency here. The Constitution is the Constitution. It's not an a la carte menu. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, all the amendments need to be respected to the same standard. Well, I don't see why they don't understand this, or maybe they do understand it and they just don't care. But because it directly applies to them, they care about it. So the NRA thinks that stopping coverage of school shootings will stop school shootings, so they'd rather restrict the First Amendment than the Second Amendment? Again, didn't watch the video. And if we're gonna be honest, there's a reason why at some point a lot of media outlets stopped reporting on suicides, because they largely learned that it was causing other people to actually commit suicides because they were over-reporting on it. So yes, to a degree, I believe that if they, and like I said in the video, if you'd watched it, I believe if they stopped over-coverage of mass shootings, it wouldn't come across as the glorification and thus incite repeat shooters. Yes, I do believe that. There are other amendments other than the second, including the one preceding the second. Figures the NRA would want to hide the end result of its obsessive ideology, dead children. Again, Marco, whatever your last name is, but I have a blue check, so that means everything I say must be true. You didn't watch the video. Clearly, and you demonstrate that in your tweet. Aaron Blake, at least we're being honest about which amendments we think are sacrosanct and which aren't. Yeah, you think the First Amendment is, and not the Second. Luke Zaleski, this is one of the most un-American ideas I've seen floated in my lifetime. Again, didn't watch the entire video, but yet I don't think he'd come with the same energy with respect to the Second Amendment. Just a guess, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Look, long story short, all I'm gonna say is this. It is kind of funny that I watched our entire media jump at my video without watching it. I could understand maybe I could give a little leeway if it had been maybe a 30-minute, 40-minute video. We're talking about 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And these people get paid to do this job. That should terrify everyone watching this video, even if you don't agree with me on the issue of the Second Amendment. The very fact that our media platforms are so eager to push out whatever agenda that they want to push at the cost of actually being correct, it should terrify everybody watching this video. It should scare the shit out of you. It really should. Because what can we depend on if we can't depend on them to give us the information that we need? I can't go out there and get all that information. That is their job. They're supposed to go out there and get that information and do it thoroughly. But this isn't even half-assing. This is literally just jumping at a chance to push an agenda. And that is the state of our media today. It's unacceptable.